Oh man, I um I remember, when Hurricane Katrina first happened. I had just left there like 5 months prior, and I knew a lot of people there, and I seen the how destitute a lot of people were just driving through the neighborhoods to a lot of those wards, and these people didn't have transportation. They couldn't get out of that city. Okay, there weren't enough buses. The people that got out could, and the other ones just had to hunker down. And I've heard a lot of really insensitive comments about the people who were still there, mostly from Caucasians, a bunch of racist Caucasians, but also from other non-blacks, and saying just the most meanest things about people who probably lost everything or lost their lives or lost their children or something like that. And I used to always think, I can't wait till something like that happens to more affluent people, And that was wrong of me to think that way, but I was angry. And so now we have Hurricane Sandy. And you have, congressmen, even, the Chris Christie, he was out without power and all that, and 80 to 100 homes burned. They had some congressman or something on the news on Fox News talking about what he lost, and Pintos and Lexuses alike was being swept away. Okay, nobody was spared. Didn't matter what community you lived in or what color you were or anything. And I heard a lot of people saying, "Ha ha ha." Now it's happening to rich people. Now and what, And I was tempted. I was tempted. But I come across this passage in chapter 17 of Proverbs, verse 5, and it said, "Whoso mocketh the poor reproacheth his maker." And that's to the people who talked about all those poor folks down there in New Orleans. And it also says in that verse, "And he that is glad at calamity shall not be unpunished." And so for those who want to sit and rejoice at the fact that rich people were affected, or the ones who lost their homes in forest fires up in the hills in California and all that, and it says that up in here through Proverbs, don't be envious at somebody else's wealth and whatnot. You don't know how they got it, or you know how little sleep they have for trying to keep a hold of that wealth, but don't rejoice at their calamities just because you don't have it. That's hating. Okay? But it says, "He that is glad at calamities shall not be unpunished." Okay? And then over here in chapter 24, and it said, "Rejoice not when thine enemy falleth, and let not thine heart be glad when he stumbleth, lest the Lord see it, and it displease him, and he turn away his wrath from him." Okay? So, for those people who want to, see this as, oh good, the Most High is taking revenge on rich folks now. Well, poor people are still affected over there, and I just did a video about how everybody needs to, get, we need to reevaluate what's really valuable. Okay, those people out there, they're freezing right now. You got a nor'easter coming that way, and the only way they're getting money is through donations. We got the money to send overseas to other nations and all that, but when it comes to here, it's got to be donated from everywhere. And you know, FEMA, the Red Cross, they continually fall below the mark when it comes to helping folks. And so, and I'm not saying they don't help at all, but it's just not as fast as they say it, the way it looks on a pamphlet. And so we have to start, looking to each other again. None of this turning the blind eye and a deaf ear. It's not my business. I don't know them. Well, get to know each other, people, because that can happen in anywhere in this country. All right, but I just want to do this video about, let's not laugh at the those who were wealthy and well off, and not have less compassion for them just because they have more. And I went through that passage already. Chance happened to them all. That was in Ecclesiastes. In my last video, I covered that. But let's not laugh at anybody's calamity, because it can quickly turn back on us in a heartbeat. And it's the same thing for, uh, overseas. You know, you had the 4 Americans, you know, rest in peace to them, who got killed in Benghazi. All right. You know, their pictures were shown on the news, and people are cheering and waving flags and all these things. And people here in America have such short memories. They call them barbarians, they're terrorists, and blah, blah, blah. Well, did we not send a team over to kill Osama bin Laden? And did not the American people run out in the streets waving their flags, screaming USA, cheering that Osama bin Laden was dead for what he, you know, for his, you know, him planning 9/11 attacks? Would we have been better for taking the high road by not celebrating like that? Yeah, you get caught up in a wave of emotion. But let's not turn around and try to call somebody over in another nation just because they're not a predominantly Anglo nation, you know what I'm saying, Anglo-American nation, because they're Arabs, that they're beast or something like that, when they cheer for their side. Because Americans over here cheer for their side. So somebody's got to change. So maybe next time a high-profile person gets killed, like Saddam Hussein or Osama bin Laden, maybe we shouldn't run out in the streets and start cheering about it. It's still a human life, is it not? But yet, a lot of people abhor the death penalty here in this country. Come on, man. You know, I'm seeing more and more why a lot of nations can't stand us.